Hey everyone, this is Tom. I was asked to do a quick video on a program that came out recently called Divisimate by Next Midi. I have a couple of friends that were interested in it. I picked it up on the opening sales price whenever they first released it. And today I had some time to mess around with it, so I created a template. Just for this purpose, and I want to jump right into it here. Here is their information. It's $199. The controller for your iPad is absolutely free, and it seems to all work perfectly. There's a YouTube site that you can go to, and has all sorts of information on the routing and basically probably explain it a lot better than what I can. However, I like when people that are using their product, are using these products, do little things like this. It really gives you a sense of if it's worth it, what to expect, and how to utilize it, I guess. In a real situation and not from the developers themselves. So without further ado, here's what this program does. By selecting a note or playing a note or a series of notes in a chord, this thing will actually take that chord or that note and branch it out to different instruments within your template and cause it to write MIDI to those instruments for their part only. So I'm sure there's an easier way of saying that, but let's get into this and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I have this. These down here tells you how many notes have to be pressed for this to work. Right now I have this particular example set up on a single note. So when I play a single note, all four of these horns are going to play. This horn 4 is going to play the root position. Horn 1 is going to play the octave of that. Horn 3, I believe, is going to play the 5th, correct? And horn 2 is going to play the 3rd of that chord. So basically it's 4, 2, 3, 1, because that is how horn parts are written. So, excuse me for a second. No, I'm not a cat guy, but she won't leave me alone until I pick her up. So here's the deal. What we do is we go into our template, a little bit about this real quick, and then we'll get right into it. The woodwinds are Berlin woodwinds, the brass are Berlin brass, and the strings are chamber strings by Spitfire Audio. I'm just going to record and enable all of these, select all of them for this demonstration. You don't have to. You can just select the enable the tracks that you're going to be using. But I find that it's just easy just to select them all and just keep going. So what does this do? Let's find out. Oh, let me do this real quick so you can see what's going on. So there we go. That little piece of music there that I just wrote. And if you look, we have our horn 1, the second line, horn 3, horn 2, horn 4. So each note is put in its proper place where you have it programmed to go. What does this mean that we can do here? I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to I'll show you some of the templates I have real quick. Over here, all these templates I created this morning, and basically, I know half of you that know me out there, all of you that know me out there are laughing your tail end off about this this is lunatic. She likes to drive me nuts. So I created all of these templates. You want to go up there and lay down? Yeah. I created all these templates here to show y'all an example. You'll notice I have a ton of woodwind stuff here because that's what I was like really interested in, to be honest with this program, because I use Berlin woodwinds, and there are so many ways that you can voice these things. So let's just go to a stacked unison and see what that sounds like and see what's going on there. I'm going to record all of these so you can see that it's actually writing for each individual part. Now this is a 3-note chord that I have to play. So that little excerpt there, we see that all the parts are written out for the flutes, the oboes, all the way down through the woodwind section. Now I'm going to go for a more interweaved, interlaced, if you will, sound, and see what we get here. Very nice, and it is voiced differently than this. If you look at this, we have right there, let's just go here and clear. There we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 flutes, oboes, clarinets, and bassoon. We go over to this other example, and we have flute, oboe, clarinet, and finally the bassoons on the bottom there. So it's divided into more parts, and each part is doing different things. So I'm playing different parts of that chord. I have a ton of these set up for just the woodwinds because I love woodwinds. I just changed it. And there is a good example. I believe I played the same 2 chords there. Yep, if you look, I played the exact, is that right? Pretty close. Pretty close to the same 2 chords. And we get a whole different sound. Let's see what we got going on here. We got the flute, oboes down here, clarinets, bassoons. Oboe is lower here. Flutes, clarinets are up in the higher register here. So yeah, this is really cool because you can find all those textures and have them readily available for you, those colors. What else can we do with this thing? Let's look at some of the fun stuff I did here. I'm going to select this woodwind minor here, and that's what I called it. This one is in the one of the tutorials that they do, showing what this thing can do, and it's a minor third for the woodwinds, and I think it's pretty cool. So So what we're doing here is I have, you can't see it now because I've closed it, but that was just one note, me playing one note on the keyboard, and here tells you how many notes, so I don't have to keep going back and forth. Once I've set this up, I can see everything I need to know right through here. 4 notes are needed for this. 1 note, 1 note, 1 note, 3 notes, 3 notes, 3 notes. And you can customize these any which way you want to, and they give you a ton of space to put your own presets. Plus, it comes with a few of their own. Let's check out this one. In fact, I'm not even going to. Yeah, let's just do it like this so that you can see. If you look down here at the bottom, yeah, it's going to show up. Let's see what this one does. So one note, I have just played that little excerpt from, well, you know what it's from. So, and here is my final demonstration. Of course, I'll probably mess this all up, but just so you can see what this thing can do. We all recognize that, and right here is the voicing for that, for each part of that section. And I know it is that because I referenced the score this morning. You'll notice here that we're missing some instruments. That's because these instruments, at the same time as this chord, this melody is going on, this tooty thing, this tooty passage, if you will, the high strings and high woodwinds are going crazy all over the place with arpeggios and making it that engine, that driving stuff. So really, really cool stuff. Great learning tool. I've learned so much about the voicing of just these two, John Williams and John Powell, from referencing their score and actually having to set this up. It really kind of sinks it in. But more importantly, once I get this incorporated into my own template, then I have those sounds. I want that certain sound. I already have it set up. I hit that button, press record on everything, play it in real quick, and I can see exactly who is doing what. Takes all the guesswork out of it. Guys, check this stuff out. Highly recommend it.